This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
No touching, no eye contact.
Choke him out, bro.
Shit! Can you get me my drink?
There's no motherfucker.
Slime.
Oliver Tree's entire persona is a performance art. He's like the music's equivalent of Andy Kaufman. You don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake.
I've done every drug under the sun. I was in a semi-pro freestyle contest. I did go to clown college.
Yeah.
But somewhere deep, buried under the many layers of irony and satire, I have to believe there is a real person somewhere.
That's how you get it done.
One is the haircut real?
Are you serious right now?
Is that a real bowl cut, bro?
I don't like getting into this. This is
opportunity to play my first big show. I used to be a dubstep DJ.
With Skrillex, right?
I played with Skrillex, yeah, in high school.
So this brings us to the first claim, and that is that before Oliver Tree was who he is now, he was actually a super cool EDM dubstep DJ. So cool, in fact, that he actually played alongside Skrillex. In this time, Skrillex was a major figure. He was dubstep's answer for Jesus. So it would be quite a big deal if Oliver Tree really played alongside Skrillex. That would be massive. Guetta is the important connection between Oliver Tree and Skrillex. As early as 2010, we can see that Guetta worked with Oliver Tree on some music, on a song called The Criff Collective Shattered Fractal. You listen to 2 seconds of the song, it's dog shit. However, DJ Criff really was Oliver Tree's music project.
Like my first rock band I joined in was called Irony, and it was in middle school. Then I was in a rap group called Mindfuck, and then after that, I was a dubstep DJ called Criff.
In 2011, Oliver Tree as DJ Criff would in fact open for dubstep's Jesus, aka Skrillex, at an event called Wobbleland. Obviously, they'd call it Wobbleland. It was dubstep, get over it. I also found this video that is supposedly him DJing. But yeah, Oliver Tree really was DJ Criff and really was playing alongside Skrillex. And it looked as though in this early stage of his career, that was the world he was going to go into. But something got in the way.
I've done every drug under the sun.
We had some wild days. There's a darker side to it that's pretty plagued in drug use.
Straight up addict. Like my parents kicked me out of the house. I was literally using a different drug every day, selling hard drugs to survive, just living on my friends' couches.
A common theme in a lot of Oliver Tree's interviews is that he says he was addicted to drugs from the age of 15, which sounds as though it could be a lie. You know, 15 years old is quite young to get addicted to drugs and kicked out your family's house. And you wouldn't be dumb to think that perhaps he was just trying to make an emotional backstory for one of his characters. And on top of being addicted to drugs from 15, he claims in a rather insane story.
And this is the story of when I ate way too much acid on a family vacation to Burning Man when I was 17 years old.
Outside of the parameter of Burning Man now. Now I'm out in the desert. I'm hitting my head on the desert floor, trying to open up my head to pull my brain out of my head.
Hallucinating these things that I flip over, my body's covered in blood, like cuts on my dick.
All the while he says this story on Impulsive, Logan Paul thinks he's trolling him because Logan Paul has a similar story.
This happened to you too? Hey, you and I might not be so different, my man.
Bro, you're telling my fucking story.
So, was it true? In one of the earlier interviews I could find on like Google, it was from November 7th, 2013. So this is before Oliver Tree was the Oliver Tree persona. He was going under an artist name called Tree. The different retellings of this story align up quite accurately. But because I'm a fucking nerd, I dug as deep as I could to find the earliest interview with Oliver Tree, ones that had been deleted, and I think I found it in 2012 from the Wayback Machine, where he also says about this Burning Man story. The same exact account all the way back in 2012, before he'd come up with these personas and characters. About the family side, I went on his dad's Facebook. I'm kind of a little bit ashamed about that. Shout out Trash Panda on our Discord for finding that one. But his dad has posted a video from Burning Man, so we can confirm he has definitely been to Burning Man, so it makes this not seem so unlikely. So you know what? I'm gonna say the Burning Man story is completely true. I really believe that one.
And that was the last time I did acid. But kids, if you're watching this, don't do acid. Unless you want to end up like me. A badass dude
with the badass haircut.
And it is a very important story if we want to work out who the real Oliver Tree is. For a brief second, we get to see a very small glimpse at the real Oliver Tree, a man who from a young age was struggling with addiction.
And I was kicked out of my parents' house in high school, and they like threw all my clothes out, and they were...
At some point in 2010, DJ Krife gave up. You know, he stopped the wobbles and the epic drops, and he rebranded to Tree. But there is loads of evidence that he did this. There's music being released under Tree. The music that he made under Tree was very different, and it's interesting because he was very serious. He was very deep, kind of emo. All of the funny stuff that we'd see later was not even remotely evident in his early music.
I spent many years of my life with another project, and I tried to take myself so serious, and I was like, oh my God, like, why won't anyone take me serious as an artist? Like, this is so, like, mad at the world.
I was in a really bad situation with the old deal that I couldn't release music, and I couldn't release music for like 4 years. So I don't know if your information found that out, but I was on a hiatus.
Ian, did you know that, Ian?
Fuck is going on here? I told you I was a fan of your research, Ian.
However, it'd be in 2016 where he would throw all of the past away and completely start over, creating Oliver Tree. Before we continue with this video, I want to give a massive shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring. Squarespace is the #1 platform for building a beautiful, gorgeous website. You need a good website. If you're opening a business, if you're a little brand owner, maybe you have a little bakery, your website could be the thing that separates you from the competition. With tons of templates to choose from, you can pick any of them, twiddle and customize them to fit your brand perfectly. On top of that, there's loads of built-in tools like members-only content, e-commerce, email marketing. And what's more is it's fun. I enjoy using Squarespace myself when I've made websites. It's really easy, obvious, intuitive, and it doesn't cost a bomb. So be sure to check out squarespace.com/Jimmy the Giant, and to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain, use the code Jimmy the Giant. Anyway, back to the video.
You can just move over now.
Oliver Tree being part of his full name, which is Oliver Tree Nickel, or Nickel, I don't know. From what I can tell, in 2016, the video Forget It with Guetta was Oliver Tree's very first music video. However, even in 2015, he'd had his first song with Guetta called Weekend. But for us, the video is more helpful because when it comes to the characters, we can see clearly that in this video, Oliver Tree isn't the character, the Turbo character that he became later. He doesn't have the glasses, the ski jacket, the Jenko jeans, but he does have the bowl cut. And that's because on set for filming this music video, Oliver Tree arrived dressed as Turbo.
Roxanne! Not the bullshit! Not the bullshit!
However, he was told that the character didn't really fit the music video, and so he had to lose the gums. Guetta, who was filming Vines and all that sort of stuff at the time, he had a very simple, pivotal idea of making a short little Vine of Oliver Tree in this character.
What's up? My name's Turbo. I'm 32 years old, I love to dance, and I sell ecstasy to children at raves. Hit me up.
After posting this initial Vine, Oliver Tree just kept doing the character because every time they'd post it, it would go super viral. But on top of that, there was one other thing in this video that stood out that would become one of the core parts of the Oliver Tree Turbo persona, and that was him supposedly riding a scooter.
So I used to compete professionally.
In scooter races?
No, it's scooter freestyle, so
Oh.
tricks. So
Wow.
I did every action sport in the book. I grew up motorcycling, BMXing, downhill racing, but in middle school, I really started focusing in on scootering. In 2009, when I was 16, I signed with the Junior Syndicate team, so I got on a scooter team, and I was competing nationally around the country.
There are potentially two myths here, and we'll start with one of them, and that is, does Oliver Tree actually ride scooter? This one's really easy to answer. From his old videos, it's very clear that he does ride scooter, and he's okay at it. You know, he can do like 360s, probably bar spins, tail whips, anything you'd see like an 8-year-old at a skate park doing. Oliver Tree could probably do it. But the next claim is that Oliver Tree was a professional scooter rider. Now this, my friends, is where things start to get a little bit wobbly. So he has a Facebook post that claims that he started scooting in 2001. In the Facebook post, it has him with a scooter. His face is clearly Photoshopped on that. However, when you go on Google and look around for Oliver Tree as a professional, there is literally zero evidence to support it. You can't find anything. And it's weird because considering the fact that from 2007, they were filming loads of videos of them scooting and BMXing, etc. You're telling me that when he went pro, he decided to just film none of it.
When I signed with the Junior Syndicate team, I was sleeping on my friend's sofa. 1 week later, I'm in a fucking penthouse apartment. I have a hot tub on my roof. 1 week before that, keep in mind, I was eating top ramen noodles for a month straight. Flash forward, 1 week later, I'm eating fucking caviar with a mini fork.
Pro scootering in the 2000s would have probably made you the same money as working at Tesco's. So him claiming he was in a penthouse suite eating caviar, it's just hard to believe. But then there's this video in 2018 called Oliver Tree's Scooter Pro,
Knock it off! I'm telling Dad next time!
where we see him doing some pretty legit scooting. You know, he's hitting stair sets, etc. But to me, if we look really closely at this, it's very possible he used a stunt double. The hair is slightly lighter color. He's also not sweating like Oliver Tree was in the clips prior. He often crops the face out of the shot so you can't really see the face. And when you can see the face, it kind of doesn't really look like Oliver. The guy, to me, looks taller and thinner. I'm sorry, Oliver, I'm not body shaming you, but it just is what it is. I'm pretty sure this guy on the right is the scooter double. I wasn't able to work out who it is, but he looks exactly like the guy who's doing the scootering. And another key video to me is the roof drop video, because that one, again, people really believe that Oliver did that. But there's no clean shot of him rolling in and rolling out. It's cut at 2 points where easily you could have put a stunt double in. But then we have the claim that he does scoot in his live shows. You can't argue with that because it's clear that it's him.
Oh, I always do scooter stunts. That's a signature thing.
See, that, if you fucking rode your scooter off a DJ booth and then picked up your guitar.
I found this clip of him doing a 360 on stage, and that is genuinely him. For sure it's him. But then we have this clip. And it's just interesting, if we pause the video, we can see the scooter rider is wearing a completely different pair of shoes to Oliver Tree. Oliver Tree's wearing these red flip-flops, and the scooter rider's wearing like a greeny, grey kind of shoe. This same mistake would be made in the Ryan Williams video.
Need a shred, bro?
What are you gonna do on that?
I'm gonna hit the mega ramp, dude. I just fucking flew 14 hours.
The Ryan Williams video was basically him competing against Oliver Tree on a big ramp, a mega ramp. So this is like high level scooting. But there are all kinds of problems in this video, mainly being his shoes. We can see after hitting the jump in his original pair of red flip-flops, he switches over to these white shoes. It makes sense because a flip-flop could go flying and you would land on the scooter with bare feet and break your foot. But after this, Oliver Tree is now always wearing white shoes when he does the ramp jumps, but for some reason, red flip-flops when he's joking around and talking. So let me present you my theory on what happened here.
Right here, bitch! Fuck you!
I think Oliver Tree arrived in character wearing the red flip-flops. The body double did the first jump in red flip-flops, realized that's a terrible idea, said that he's gonna have to wear white shoes, so they filmed the shoe change scene to make it all make sense. However, they'd already filmed all of the comedy bits.
Let the fucking writing speak for itself. Let's see you do it. Or if you can't do it, then let's just let that be known.
And that's why when he's up top of the ramp, he's always wearing red shoes, but when he goes down the ramp, he's magically in white shoes. Also, if we slow down, you can see there are cuts. They're quite well done, but these awkward zoom in on the cameras and just weird cuts would be an easy way to get a body double in. As well, there's never a clear shot of Oliver Tree rolling in and landing a jump. It's always cut. You can always put a double in. So, after all of that, can Oliver Tree scooter? I would say, yes, he can scooter to some basic level. He's probably decent. But can he huck a 360 front on a mega ramp? And was he a pro? I'm gonna say no, I don't think he was. And so I will dub professional scooter rider Oliver Tree as a myth. But with that in mind, this leads us very nicely onto our next myth.
So not a lot of people know this, but the song Hurt is actually about a scooter crash I had when I was 18.
In 2009, when I was 16, I signed with the Junior Syndicate team. So I was 18 years old, so this is the end. This was the last competition I ever did.
It was February 26, 2015.
Of course, there was the crash in 2016 where I was in a semi-pro freestyle contest.
It was a semi-final run in a pro contest.
I'm rolling down this 30-foot roll-in.
20-foot rolling.
40-foot rolling. 45-foot rolling. 52 metric meter high rolling. About 35 miles an hour on 48 miles an hour on a Razor scooter. And out of nowhere,
This little fucking pebble shows up.
fucking Pebble shows up.
Fucking pebble shows up. I hit this, I go flying.
142 metric meters. About 22 metric meters. I put my hands out to break the fall. Break my right wrist, I break my left wrist. Break the joint that connects my thumb to my hand.
However, those details change depending on the weather. So obviously, I already have some doubts. These numbers don't really add up. But in the H3H3 podcast, they show a tweet that he made where it shows his injury. The tweet and the photo is now deleted, but I found it on his mum's Facebook. Again, I'm sorry. I felt weird about it. In this, his mum says that his cast came off in 2015. In the R. Willie video, he claims the crash happened
2016, where I broke my left wrist.
But now they have proof. They show an article from a newspaper. However, the article is fake. Here is the real article, and in this article, it was a woman. Oliver Tree changed the she to he. I didn't know Oliver Tree was so progressive. Oliver Tree sold merch. He sold a t-shirt that had this fake article on it. So look, for me, all of these inconsistencies don't add up. I would believe that he probably had obviously some kind of injury, thus the photos of him in hospital, etc. And it's very likely and possible it could have been to do with extreme sports. It could have been to do with scootering. But he's taken some elements of truth and then added a lot of bullshit to it.
Nobody ever knows when you're serious.
Stop fucking
last question.
He's trolling us. I think he's trolling. Are you trolling?
Yo, the
I wish I knew if you were telling the truth or not.
So when it comes to Oliver Tree's career, it really started to kick off 2017 onward, growing in a very unique way through various sort of online social media. But it was so weirdly artistic in a way because all of his persona and all the visuals completely contrasted the music.
I kind of thought that your music would be shallow before I listened to it, just because I've just seen images, like I've seen different just clips. You know, I haven't seen any actual, I didn't sit down and listen to a full song until much later. And when I listened to your music, I was like, oh shit, this is deep, this is vulnerable, this is tapping into a place of genuine self-expression.
For all the jokes, the gags, the fake products that he would sell, you would think his music was like parody music, but it wasn't. It was very genuinely deep and heartfelt. And it really gives us a deeper look into the real Oliver Tree and his attitudes to creating art.
And I think in the music you could see the real guy and get a sense of who I am much more. But then like the image was just the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And for me that was actually fun because I'm so into the idea of juxtaposition.
There's not a lot of room to make a new song, you know? There's only so many chord progressions, there's only so many pop chord progressions.
I've found as an artist one of the few ways that you can do new things is by meshing together things that probably shouldn't go together.
But there would be one more claim that Oliver Tree would very often make. Oliver Tree claims he went to clown school.
Clowns?
Clowns, I did go to clown college.
Yeah.
So there are some things that could support this story. Firstly, he repeatedly mentions it. It wasn't just a joke once. Secondly, he loves to ride various weird contraptions. He has a pocket rocket, he can do stilts. And on top of this, his actual persona as Oliver Tree is quite clownish. But did he go to clown school? I did more digging on the parents' Facebook. Again, not proud of it. There is not a single photo on his parents' Facebook, and believe me, they have many photos. There's not a single photo on Google of Oliver in clown school. There's not a single photo of his mum doing trapeze or his dad being a ringleader. But Oliver's personal Facebook does say that he studied in clown college at San Francisco State University. Here it says he studied from 2011 to 2013. But then there's a post on his timeline from 2015 where he said that he had just got into clown college. Weirdly, he has a LinkedIn and that too says that he went to clown college. However, it was at California Institute for Arts between 2015 and 2017. I went on Google to look if they offered a degree in clownography and it would appear they don't. And in this written interview from 2016, it was saying that he was at California Institute for Art to study music production, which I'm just gonna say is slightly more likely. So, did Oliver Tree go to clown college? I'm gonna say I personally don't believe this story, but it's harder to prove, so I'll leave it as a question mark. But this myth leads us on to the next myth, and that is that he actually grew up in the circus. The circus he claims to have grown up in is always called Del Pickle Family Circus. Google doesn't find Del Pickle Family Circus, but it always brings up Pickle Family Circus. Oliver's claim kind of falls apart when he talks about his parents.
His parents were both trapeze artists who traveled across America in the Del Pickle Family Circus.
My father was a trapeze artist, my mother was a trapeze artist.
And both of your parents were trapeze artists.
No, my mom was, and my father was a ringleader at the circus.
Nice. Which circus?
The Del Pickle Family Circus.
Nice.
Going through the family's Facebook, I know, I'm sorry, who, as I say, post lots of photos of their life and old photos. There is one mention to the circus, and that is a Christmas post on the 24th of December, 2022, where they have photoshopped themselves into a circus, and it says the Nickel Family Circus. I think that's a nod to Pickle Family Circus. I'm going to conclude this is like a family running joke joke, and they're posting this as a reference to Oliver's story. Again, it's hard to prove, but the lack of images and just the way the story doesn't add up, he says it a few different ways. I'm gonna say it seems pretty unlikely. So that kind of brings us to about now.
A week later, it comes out, and I look at the YouTube comments, and it's just like, you stole this song from Southstar. I'm like, who is Southstar, and how could I have stolen my own song that I had
He went
made?
through a few large controversies. There was one with Kid Laroi, where he claimed that Kid Laroi was stealing shot-for-shot videos from his music videos. But he kind of leaned into it and was making lots of jokes about it, and a lot of people think this was a PR stunt between Kid Laroi and Oliver Tree. He then had the big drama with the song Miss You, where a young producer had made this remix of an Oliver Tree song. Oliver Tree then made his version. The songs were exactly the same. This controversy didn't seem like a joke. It didn't seem comedic. It seemed like Oliver had really stolen this song. And when he defends himself, he isn't joking like he was with Kid Laroi.
Since the other label replaced my vocal, my label took the song and said, we're gonna replace your beat and recreate it.
But you can't trust anything Oliver says, even when he's being out of character. It seems that it's very possible this whole thing was a marketing publicity stunt. And Oliver Tree has admitted that at times he does fake beef for drama, for views.
I have discovered recently, as you pointed out, that beef sells.
For sure, I've used that one many times.
But it would be in 2023 where we would start to see a brand new character arc for Oliver, being himself.
The greatest inspiration that I can make as a human in Harness is not gonna be able to be reached if I'm just stuck in that character, which is very one-dimensional, you know? It only shows a small part of my range, especially like if I'm here doing an interview with you, and now what, I'm gonna put you in a headlock and we're gonna fight, and that's like every interview I do for the rest of my life. I kind of did that and got it out of my system.
He done 2 interviews, mostly out of character. One with Steve-O, and one with an unlicensed therapist, aka Anthony Padilla. We're led to believe in these interviews that this is the real Oliver. This was really him breaking character. He was himself. However, I want to present a theory. Put your tinfoil hats on, lads. This one is a little wild. In these interviews where he is supposed to be himself, I believe he makes a few claims that are not true.
Anyways, this is actually you doing the flip.
Yeah,
on
I
the
do all
post.
my own stunts.
There's no stand-ins.
No.
First claim is that he does all of his own stunts, and we proved earlier that it seems as though he fakes some stunts. In the Steve-O interview, when they talk about going to R. Willy Land, Oliver Tree doesn't use this as an opportunity to say, yeah, we faked that, it was a joke. He inadvertently claims that it was real and that he beat R. Willy in the competition.
I was with him. I actually competed against him at R. Willy Land, and I creamed him, dude. I actually beat the fucking guy.
Really?
Because he's been more focused on BMX, so his scootering is rusty.
In both of these interviews, Oliver Tree makes this statement that he, when coming up with the Oliver Tree character, decided to not become a sex symbol.
How do I want to present myself? Do I want to sell sex and like try to be like everyone else? Or do I want to try to sell sex and blend in with everybody? Or do I want to try to stick out like a sore thumb and do something different? And for me, I just felt like as an artist, it didn't feel right trying to use like sexual attraction as my main device to try to get people to get behind my art. So,
which is clearly satirical, but you know, both interviewers are American, so they don't quite understand satire. The fact he says it in both interviews implies a rehearsed narrative, such as what we see with his inconsistent but similar accounts of his scooter crash. The next thing is that in the Steve-O interview, he mentions that he signed 2 artists to his own label.
Did you have a DJ portion of your show at Red Rocks?
no. No, I did not. But there was DJ who opened up for me, Supercomputer, this new act that I just recently signed to my label, Alien Boy Records. So Supercomputer played right before me. That's DJ Project, and then Little Ricky as well. Those are the 2 acts that I signed to my record label. But
Supercomputer and Little Ricky are Oliver Tree. And as well, in the Steve-O interview, he claims that this is his final album, which he has done many times before as a joke.
and this is the 3rd final installment. This is the last album I'll ever release. So that will make it even more valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And just finishing the final album, Cowboy Tears. And once that thing's done, I'm out.
My last fucking album I'm ever dropping as Oliver Tree. I'm done with this shit.
So this brings me to my final conclusion on whether Oliver Tree is truly out of character. The problem with his current characters is it's kind of extremely obvious through the way he dresses and behaves that it is all a joke. So if Oliver Tree really wanted to deceive everyone, the best way of doing that would be to pretend he is being himself, ultimately leading him in the future to potentially pulling an even bigger, even more elaborate stunt. But if there is one thing that we know for certain about the real Oliver Tree, that is that he loves to blur the line between real and fake. So who knows? If you enjoyed this video, come join the Discord where we can discuss these topics. You can help me research future videos. It's really great. We've got a cool community going. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.